Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to study clinical of pancreas, that is very famous and known as pancreatitis. Pancreatitis is of two types. There is acute pancreatitis and there is chronic pancreatitis. Acute and chronic pancreatitis are classified on the basis of their duration. If the complaint is active and of shorter duration of less than 3 months, then it is known as acute pancreatitis. But the patient is having history more than long the 3 months, then it is known as chronic pancreatitis. Chronic means old and acute means new. So for the acute pancreatitis, I will tell you that how the patient presents, but first of all you should know the risk factors. As it shows itis, it's the inflammation of the pancreas. So it can happen on all over the pancreas or any specific part of the pancreas like tail, body, any part of the pancreas which became inflamed due to any injury. So these are the risk factors which can lead to the pancreatitis. If you see here, one is that on the history taking, you will get to know that the patient is alcoholic, right? Either patient is alcoholic or either patient is very obese and patient have high triglyceride levels, that patient are going to develop acute pancreatitis. Patient, those who are more prone to develop gallstones or those who have already gallstones, like female in their 40s, and the fatty aunties have gallstones in their 40s and they are more prone to develop pancreatitis. Gallstones are developed in the common bile duct, and common bile duct is just lying on the superior part of the head of the pancreas, where you have seen that CBD was there and cystic ducts was there. So gallstones will develop and they will lead to the pancreatitis situation. Hyperlipidemia and hypercalcemia. Hyperlipidemia, as I told you, the patient is obese. Obviously, that patient lipid level are going to be high. They are more prone to develop acute pancreatitis. Those patients who have excessive calcium in their body have also more risk to develop pancreatitis. If there is any trauma, like someone stabbed in the abdomen, these sort of things, it can lead to acute pancreatitis. There are certain medications, there are some steroids and antibiotics which have the side effect and can cause acute pancreatitis. How the acute pancreatitis present? For that, so for the clinical presentation, acute pancreatitis, you should know that patient have the worst pain in her whole life or in his whole life. They will give the history that they haven't experienced this type of pain. Before, and that will be very severe in nature and patient will be in agony. So as pancreas is mainly lying in the epigastrium, so patient will present with the mid-epigastric pain with the tenderness. On palpating that epigastrium, patient will develop more severe pain, so there will be tenderness and epigastrium pain. That pain can be gradual, that pain can be severe, but severe pain presentation is more common than the gradual onset of the pain, occurring within the 12 to 24 hours after a large meal like fatty meal or alcohol. And the pain will be persistent. It will not be intermittent, that it comes and goes, but it will be present all the time and it will radiate to the back. So the patient will develop pain in the epigastrium. After developing epigastrium, pain will go into the back side, either on the right side or on the left side. But the patient will say that I'm having pain in epigastrium and it is going to the back, and then it can go to the shoulder or it can go to the iliac fossa, either right iliac fossa or left iliac fossa, before spreading to involve the whole abdomen. Eventually, if the patient is not treated right, pain will not not be confined to the epigastric region. It will take the whole abdomen. And one very important point in the history you should know, when you ask the patient that okay, you are having epigastric pain, is it radiating somewhere, and if the patient is saying that it is radiating to back, then think about the acute pancreatitis. Then ask, did you take any sort of large meal or alcohol in the last 24 hours? If the patient says yes, okay, one more point for the pancreatitis, then you should ask, is there anything that aggravates the pain and is there anything that relieves the pain? So if the patient says that yes doctor, my pain relieves on sitting and leaning forward, if the patient bends forward in the in the flex position, or if the patient is sitting, the pain will be relieved. And if the patient says, oh, my pain worsens on walking and lying supine, that means the patient is having confirmed acute pancreatitis, and we will send the labs immediately. Along with that, the patient will develop nausea and vomiting. Nausea and vomiting has always been the presentation of acute pancreatitis in majority of the cases. Okay, when the pancreatitis becomes severe, the pancreatitis is not treated right or not diagnosed at the right time, what happens? It becomes severe and it will lead to the septic shock. I have already told you that whenever there is a shock in the body, patient always develop fever, low BP, and tachypnea means increased respiratory rate, and WBCs are going to be increased, as this is the injury of the pancreatitis and causing inflammation and leading to high WBC, white blood cells in the body, and abdomen will be rigid on the palpation. As I already told you that pancreatitis is divided into acute and chronic pancreatitis. If the patient is having mild acute pancreatitis, then in the mild acute pancreatitis there is no absence, there is no organ failure, and there are no local complications. Patient is not developing septic shock and it can be treated mildly. While in severe acute pancreatitis, patient will have hemorrhagic necrotizing pancreatitis, and that is the life-threatening condition where pancreatitis become necrotized, or you can say become damaged and highly infected. Complications will start to develop. Patient will develop septic shock, and you will see all the features of septic shock. BP will be less than 90, so hypotensive. Oxygen will be less. There can be GI bleed. Patient can develop hematemesis, and creatinine will be more than 2. Creatinine is a test which tells us that how the kidneys are functioning. So we said that in severe acute pancreatitis, organ failure will develop, so kidneys will start failing. And to assess the severity of pancreatitis, we have a score that is known as the Ranson score. On Ranson score, we see all those things, like if BP is less than 90, give one number, oxygen is less than 60, give one number, and if Ranson score becomes more than 3, that means it is severe acute pancreatitis and needs immediately hospitalization. Now, if we talk about that, how can we diagnose pancreatitis on clinical basis, then we have to send a test which is known as serum amylase and serum lipase. You should know that pancreas, I told you yesterday that pancreas have exocrine and endocrine functions. If there are, exocrine produces that pancreatic juice, while endocrine is producing all these hormones, insulin, amylase, lipase, which are important in metabolizing the food and maintaining the glucose levels in the body. So, and lipase is for the fat metabolism. So amylase and lipase are very specific for the pancreas. So we will order serum amylase and serum lipase. If there is pancreatitis, amylase will be 3 times raised. For example, if the normal amount of the amylase is 45, it will come back like 200 or 300. So you will know that amylase is 3-fold raised, and lipase will also be increased. So amylase and lipase are increased, you will confirm that it is acute pancreatitis. Other baselines we will send to see if there is any organ failure. We will do CBC to see if the patient is anemic. We will send the renal function test to see if kidneys are not failing, liver function test if liver is not failing, calcium levels to check if there is hypercalcemia, because I told you that hypercalcemia is also a risk factor for the pancreatitis and we have to treat that straight away. So all those things, and we will check the BP and respiratory distress. They all help in assessing the severity of the attack. Now, what can be the complications that can develop as a result of pancreatitis? There can be hypocalcemia. As hypercalcemia is a risk factor, what will happen after developing severe pancreatitis? Patient can convert into hypocalcemia rather than hypercalcemia. So hypocalcemia, it is caused by the enzymatic fat necrosis. I told you that fat is producing in the pancreas, fat metabolism is happening in the pancreas, and in the pancreatitis it will be compromised and will lead to the fat damage. Then there can be pancreatic pseudocyst. In your PBL session you learned about the pancreatic pseudocyst, that what happens after the pancreatitis, there is one complication where cysts develop in the pancreas. That cyst contains the fluid, and it can rupture. If it ruptures, its fluid can go into the lesser sac. So collection of the digested pancreatic tissue around the pancreas is known as the pancreatic pseudocyst. There can be pancreatic abscess, that will be the pus-filled cavity developing in the pancreas, and it can lead to the severe septic shock, so it has high mortality. There can be acute respiratory distress syndrome, means patient can develop the lung failure and it will be unable to breathe. That is known as acute respiratory distress syndrome. And I told you that ascites is not only happening in chronic liver disease, it is also in many other things. It can develop in pancreatitis, so you always have to find the cause for the ascites. So it can cause bloody ascites. Pancreatitis can develop bloody ascites, that can be hemolysis, and then DIC, that is disseminated intravascular coagulation, means circulatory system of the body will fail and patient can lead to the hemolytic shock. There can be shock, and there can be acute renal tubular necrosis and failure. I already told you that the kidneys can fail in the pancreatitis and they can also lead to the death, and this is one of the complications. Then comes the treatment part. For the treatment part, you should know that most attacks of the acute pancreatitis can be improved with the conservative treatment. Again, you have to see either it's a severe case or it's the mild case. Mild case can improve after giving painkillers, antibiotics, analgesics, etc. But if it is severe, then we have to admit the patient into the intensive care unit or ICU, and after there we all going to give these medications. But with that we have to maybe perform a procedure that is known as ERCP, in which we put camera into the mouth and lead to the pancreas, and we can see if there are stones that are causing pancreatitis. We can remove those stones in the common bile duct. But in mild, you just give the painkillers to relieve the pain. We will give IV fluids, means drips, to elevate the BP, and we will give antibiotics so that patient don't develop septic shock and WBC become reduced. So antibiotics will also aid in reducing the inflammation of pancreas. With that, we will keep giving multivitamins, fat supplements to the patient, that is known as a nutritional support. So these are the main things. Treatment is not the main part for you. You should know that what is pancreatitis, risk factors, and how it presents. Thank you so much.